affected them, and that's what these lines are. Now, I don't know where these quotes are coming from yet, but I think that's what they're trying to do here.
Interesting.
So.
Jim and Andy, we'd love to have you on the show.
Please, by all means.
Any other thoughts on this wonder? I think it's a wonderful song. Or two songs. We're gonna count Dat Fodder into this week because it's not officially written down anywhere as I think it's more just outtakes than actual song. So we're gonna count Dat Fodder into this week. So, are there any more thoughts on these two songs before we move on to ratings?
I'm so. I'm good.
All right. So let's do some ratings.
All right, so we're gonna go by how many handlebar mustaches are we gonna give this song? I just when I saw that. Listeners, please watch the video. I'm sure Tracy is going to include that in our show notes, and you've got to watch it because Steven's whole vibe is just spot on. That's so. All of them, even I think Tyler's got his dreads. On the drum, it's just so good. So watch it, but you'll see why we're using handlebar mustaches for the ratings. I gave the song 3.25 handlebar mustaches or mustaches. It depends on how you want to say it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. It was fun. It was a fun, crazy song. Aaron, how about you?
I gotta be the guy who drinks the haterade this episode. I don't hate the song, but I definitely am not as enthusiastic about it. I think probably, like I said, if I were in...
if you had $1 million?
Well, if I had $1 million and I could go back in time, build a time machine, and see them perform this live... Yeah, I think in the crowd, watching them perform it live, it's a different experience, and I think then it would probably be well over 3 handlebar mustaches. But I think I'm going to have to be the crazy one and say, for me, the recording, if we're judging the recording on the album as its own entity, I have to give it a 2.9 rubber rooms out of 5.
That's fair. I like it.
It's not a bad song by any means, and it's the kind of thing I could probably see myself every once in a while. It might get stuck in my head and I want to go hear it. So definitely well above average.
Okay, Tracy.
All right.
How many handlebar mustaches or rubber brooms do you give this song?
Here's my struggle. I love the first part of this song.
Yeah.
I, however, like last week's song, I hit the changeover, it was really cool the first time I listened to it. I wanted to listen to it all the way to the end. However, from then on out, whenever I hit that changeover, I hit next song. It's a guarantee.
That's what I'm saying, Tracy, because the thing is, if you watch them at 10 different shows play this song, that section is going to be different every time that they're improvising and playing. So that would make it that much cooler. But I think that's the problem I was having. I was like, now it kind of feels like it's petering out, running out of steam at the end, because it's the same thing. So I don't know. Maybe that's the problem with recordings of jam songs.
And I have to so you have the jam that's at the end of Brian Wilson, which is just phenomenal. They are just
it's a little different,
blowing that out. This is more like a non-practice jam after that. And it's one song. It is written down in Wikipedia everywhere that you look at it. It's written down. It is one song. So I have to judge it on that one piece altogether, not counting Dat Fodder, and I'm not going to rate it with Dat Fodder. It would be, if just that first part by itself, it would be a 4. Adding the other part in there brings it down to a 3.5.
Yep, that's fair.
Sorry, Steven. I love artistic genius, but I will also admit I am a deep, deep, deep Beatles fan. I've listened to Revolution 9 partway through once and never turned it on again. It's just not my thing. Oh, did we lose Aaron?
No, I see him.
I muted myself to be respectful, but I forgot to unmute myself. Crazy, I know. I was going to say that there's a difference between being able to appreciate something as art and then being drawn to it and feeling a strong connection to it and really loving it and internalizing it. So for me, I know personally, I'm not a big fan of realistic art. I appreciate the talent that it takes to draw something that looks like a photograph, but I would much rather look at something that's like kind of an abstract expressionist work or an impressionistic work or like a surrealist work where it's like maybe showing me a familiar topic or subject, but from an angle I've never seen or through a filter of someone else's reality. So that's just me, but everyone's different.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that we can all appreciate it for different reasons and for different things. Ultimately, you know, we're a little more distributed on this one than the last one, for instance. But like, I think we're still all on the same page. We definitely all appreciate it, and I think it's a very solid song.
Yeah.
Where does that one drop us?
It drops us with a 3.22 score. That puts it just above Bag of Bones and just below Boomerang. So it's right between those two.
So that's a pretty fair assessment.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it would be higher for me if we had dropped out that last part. Like, I think the song would take off significantly. So
Yeah.
So
It is what it is.
Yeah. So you mentioned the appearance already, Michelle. Actually, we kind of already talked about it a little bit. It's going to be
I didn't mean to give a sneak peek, but it's
that
so
sneak peek.
good.
Spoiler alert.
It's the time that they showed up on Intimate and Interactive in 1994. And we talked about it a couple times now with Tyler coming out from behind the drums.
Oh my gosh.
It's during their
hilarious.
handlebar mustache period, so...
And he's got a vest, like he's got a blousey red shirt on and a black vest over it. It's just perfect. It's you gotta just love it and embrace it.
I want to give a quick shout out. There are lots of new listeners this week. When I was doing looking up some of the stuff, and we especially have someone who, or several someones who is loving us in Mississauga, Canada. It's a suburb of Toronto, so maybe it's the boys, but it's southeast of Toronto.
Hi, Canada.
So
we love
or
you.
Canada.
Southwest of Toronto. Sorry, Mississauga. Mississauga. This is south.
Misogyny, Canada.
Mississauga.
Apologies all around.
They had like 64 songs, or 64 of our episodes that they downloaded last week at one point. So whoever it was, or whatever group it was that listened, it was big last week. And also St. Albert, Canada. There was a big listener group from last week. So thank you guys very much for joining in. We hope you stick with us.
Woohoo!
Do you have St. Albert in a can?
I want to give a quick plug for one of our wonderful sister podcasts that's out there on the Filling the Void network. It's called Worst Soccer Mom Ever. It is written by, it's actually, sorry, let me fix that. It's called Making the Pieces Fit. It's basically these different written pieces that the person is then reading, that they have written. And it's written by, I want to say, Blake Riley's wife, or related to Blake Riley. I think it's his wife. So a friend of the show that has been on a couple of times now. And one of my favorite pieces that I listened to last week was Worst Soccer Mom Ever. It was a wonderful episode. So please go out there and listen to it. The great thing is, like, these are like 6, 7, 10-minute like little pieces. So it's great little things that you can kind of just quickly listen to. And you know what soccer moms love? They absolutely...
Generalizations?
They absolutely love to listen to kids' songs, right? On their radio over and over again.
Cue ominous music.
Yeah, like raining tacos or like breakfast burritos. When I used to drive my kids to soccer, I used to have to listen to all those wonderful kids songs like London Bridge is Falling Down and Ring Around the Rosie. Yeah, I have to say, like, the old songs are really, really dark and sadistic. I am so glad that B&L decided to come out with a much better song. Because as a dad that drives his kids to athletics, I know it drives me crazy. And next week, I might drive you guys crazy as we talk about the crazy ABCs off the kids album. That wasn't that.
That's actually one of my favorites.
Oh, maybe I'll just drive Aaron crazy with it.
There we go.
Well, we'll give it a shot.
Well, thank you guys very much for joining us today, and we will see you next week, and hopefully we didn't drive you crazy.
See everybody next week.
See you next time. Don't go crazy now.
'Cause I'm just crazy like you. I am crazy